Imagine the vibes sa comment section ng live stream, and then we have something like this. I think that's gonna be really
Mm.
fun. Yeah. So do continue to stay tuned for that, of course. Join us for your PFL games. Don't just join us when there's a trivia. You gotta join us. Game in, game out. We will resume action on Saturday, February 21. And Valenzuela PB Ninjola will square off with Maharlika in our curtain racer. And it will be the big one. Titans Kaya and Wantagig will square off at 7 on Saturday, Feb 21. Action will also carry on over at Cebu on Saturday. The Gentle Giants will host Tuloy. That might be the first time Tuloy will be traveling to Cebu, when I recall. Because in the 2024 shortened season, Cebu flew to Manila to play against Tuloy. So that will be a first there. So there's two games in Manila on Saturday, and then there's one game in Cebu also. And then we will head over to Sunday. Army will square off with Stallion Laguna, while you have Garelli, who will look to bounce back versus Aguilas. Aguilas, like a number of teams, did get a bye or rest in that last weekend. First round between Valenzuela PB Menjola and Maharlika went 7-0. Are you guys expecting improvement from Valenzuela PB, or will Maharlika let things out here on Minjola, given that they are on a winless run? Do you want to start, Natasha?
I think that this would be a close game in the first 30 minutes. So if Valenzuela, PB Mendiola can pick up anything in the start of the game and hold on to that, then things could go in their way. But I feel that Maharlika, on paper, are the better team, and you could feel that they're hungry after three losses in a row and then getting a draw against Stallion. You know that they're gonna come onto this game with a vengeance to want to really get on that win column again.
I think of concern lately, itong Valenzuela PB are fielding a very short-handed bench. I mean, I know you only have 5 subs per game, but normally they only have around 4 or 5 players at the bench. Let's see how that will carry on. They definitely need the presence of Balot Doctora to lead them with his locker room presence and with his ability to score. Simple as this. Let's head over to the next game. Kaya and Awanta Gig Jego. Awanta Gig won 1-0. Are you expecting a repeat? But both sides did get to beef up, especially Kaya, you could say so far. Unless Wanta Gig still have other transfers to show. Because there's Haber for the gig, and then Kaya. There's Mirbach, of course. What do you think?
Yeah, this the main event of the weekend for sure. It's first place versus second place, and so many implications here for the title race and the race for international football. Side note, it looks like 8 minutes ago, One Taguig announced a new player. I don't really know who he is, but it shows that they're still active in the transfer window. But this one's gonna be exciting because you have so many interesting matchups. You can see the likes of Mirbach against Stephen Ham. You can see the likes of Reichelt up against Maluman Soko. It's gonna be a really entertaining midfield battle, a tactical battle for sure. And Kaya will feel that they need to exact revenge because of the way the first round fixture went. At the same time, Montague now have that psychological edge, knowing that they were the first team to beat Kaya, knowing that they were the first team to score against Kaya in the whole season. So this match is gonna be firecracker. I'm hoping that from a neutral perspective, I'm hoping that it's really exciting. I'm hoping that it's chaotic. I'm hoping that a lot happens. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for this one. As should all the PFL fans.
It's just one of those
What
games,
I'm
Natasha,
hoping
right?
for the most, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
was saying
community
what I'm
looks
hoping
forward to
for
it.
the
You're
most is
saying.
that people come to Rizal. Like, come on, guys. A game of this magnitude deserves the fans to come on out to Rizal and watch this game live. So please, if you can, if you're able, make the time. Feb 21, Saturday, 7 p.m. Make it a date. We just hope that more of the fans really just come on out to Rizal and add on that extra energy to make the game that much more hostile for the environment to really just spell a number one battle.
If you want the best of both worlds, you can join the comment section while watching the game live at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. That's a good way to put it, right? Wala namang ganun um, in the last deck in the 2000s where you could play stuff on the comment section also. It's just analog TV. That's what you love now about technology. And we carry on to the third game on Saturday. That will be in Cebu again at the Dynamic Herb Sports Stadium. 4-0 for Cebu over Tuloy. I will say I am expecting Tuloy to get at least one highlight goal for us. That's one for the road. Obvious reasons, because these boys can ball. The advantage Cebu pa rin, Natasha. Let's remember, they shook up their roster also, Cebu.
Yeah. Not only are they on paper in squad and they have the home advantage, so Cebu does have all the advantages coming into this game going against Tuloy. But my heart really has a soft spot for Tuloy. The players like Cyril South, Halike, Diaz, Nunez, these players at moments they can really, they always show up every game. They're not afraid to play big. There was even times I'm gonna go back to when they played against Kayaleg. There were times that South and Halike had Toyota in their pocket. That's just how well they would play and how confident they are in those 1v1s. And so whatever the scoreline will be, you 100% know it's going to be an interesting match because the philosophy and the style of play of Tuloy, they never park the bus. They always want to try to get forward. So even if Cebu will score the goals, you know that throughout the whole 90 minutes, Tuloy will still try to get goals as well.
So that will wrap up your Saturday games. When we head over to Sunday, you could say it is bounce back day for these teams. When we refer to the opener, there's Stallion versus Army, and then we will have Garelli versus Aguilas. That will be the doubleheader, the game after. But after February 22, there will be games also on Wednesday. Diego, can you preview or what do you think about these games on Sunday? On paper, Aguilas and Stallion favored in their respective games. What do Army and Garelli have in store here?
Yeah, two games that have favorites on paper, but there is gonna be pressure on them. Let's not forget because all of those teams in that fifth to seventh place are playing favorable games, so all of them have pressure on them to win their games because you have to assume that the other two will also win their games. So there's gonna be some added pressure for those teams, even though they're the favorites. For Stallion, you'd assume that they have enough quality to beat Army, but to be fair to Philippine Army, they've started scoring goals. Still conceding quite a lot, but at least there's a silver lining. They're scoring goals now, even though you would favor Stallion for that match. And then for Don Bosco, again, they kept it 0-0 in the second half against Taguig. So there is silver linings to build on if you're those teams, Army and Don Bosco. But yeah, the favorites are very evident for those matches. But they're gonna be under pressure, so it won't be as easy as it might look on paper.
We go to the Wednesday fixtures. That is correct. We have games on February 25. February 25 is a holiday, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, we have games. Do join us at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Tuloy versus Army at 4. And at 7 afterwards, you've got Manila Digger and Garelli. And Natasha, how do you preview this?
You feel that when they went against each other, Tuloy versus Army, it was close in the first half. It was Army who got the first goal. For Tuloy scored a goal as well, and then I think it was a mistake by the goalkeeper, and there were moments in the game that Army were up. Eventually, the style of play of Tuloy really took driver's seat. And I feel that Tuloy versus Army, Tuloy have the the better hand in terms of just their style of play. For me, has been really good, and just the quality of their players on the attack. But to add to what Diego said earlier, you're also seeing a different Army now. Like Philippine Army now are they're slowly scoring goals. So they're finding that confidence in front of goal as well. So let's see if they can continue on that and show up better against Tuloy and give them a harder battle.
There you go. I am looking forward to this homegrown battle, of course, between our two teams. Manila Digger versus Garelli. Diego, Garelli, clean sheet in that 45 minutes versus one Taguig. Can they carry this on against Seiko Sise and the superheroes who are gearing up for AFC? Let's remember, they're going to play in the knockout stage of the Challenge League very soon, next March na yan.
Yeah, for Don Bosco, you'd hope that they're able to carry over that defensive performance against Wantigig at the second half. Um, it will be hard against Manila Digger, who are coming off a 12-0 victory against Valenzuela PB Mendiola. But, you know, you have to exploit any advantages that you could have. If you're Don Bosco, you'll be saying to yourself, they might not be going full throttle Manila Digger because they're gearing up for that match against Dewa United. I believe it's Dewa United. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
In the AFC competition, so they have to assume that full focus might not be on this match, but it might actually be on the match that's coming up for Manila Digger, because that might be a room to exploit if you're Don Bosco. Again, you have to take it as it is. It's going to be a very hard match. Obviously, Manila Digger are the favorites, and yeah, even if they rotate their squad, they're still such a good team. They are the obvious favorites. We're hearing rumors that they're gonna add even further depth to their squad, but we'll await confirmation of that. And yeah, obviously they're the favorites for this one.
So that's our upcoming schedule, of course. And we're just gonna run through it one more time, just so you do not forget. No excuse if you cannot join us on at least one match day on Saturday this weekend. Ito, Valenzuela PB Mindiola versus Maharlika, and it will be followed up by Kaya versus One Taguig. And on Sunday, we have Philippine Army versus Stallion Laguna and Garelli versus.
I can hear you now. two good results, salvaged the draw against Maharlika in their last outing, and then got a victory against Aguilas. Two teams that are going to be real rivals in trying to make it into that Magic Six. And right now, Stallion Laguna have an opportunity to keep the momentum going.
Stallion actually with 3 matches on hand compared to Maharlika, the team just above them. We mentioned this because they've been nip and tuck all throughout. Philippine Army, though, they would like to join that lag jam with Valenzuela, PB Menjola, and Don Bosco Garelli United, who will be seeing action later today. Make it to the top 6 again in hopes of fighting for the championship. That is essentially the name of the game. We are in the second round already. And with the standings done and dusted, Philippine Army, it's been tough for them as of late. I think that's the way to describe this campaign. But I know, Jing, they've been able to put up some promise despite of the unideal record.
It's been a real struggle for them. Negative 67 in their goal difference. It makes for hard viewing when you look at it on paper. But if you're looking for silver linings, you can look at their last 2 results. Yes, they lost. Yes, they were heavy defeats, but they scored 2 goals each in those 2 games. And, you know, it took them a long time to find the back of the net in the first round. Finally, they're finding their form in terms of their ability in front of down a little bit better, and they do have a new recruit that might be able to help them in that department. Hopefully, that is something that they are able to translate as well. Hold things, hold the fort down at the back, but be able to find the back of the net.
And with that, with Army, actually, they've been able to score as of late. As you said, Ago Ariola and John Celis were able to score in that loss versus Cebu. And here is a look at that lineup of theirs. There's actually so many familiar names because they played for previous teams or they got to play in the college ranks. So that is the reason why we expect something from Philippine Army.
100%. I mean, you're looking at the likes of Jalsor Soriano and Sai Villaseñor. They played for Kaya. They played at the AFC level. And, you know, John Celis played with JPV back in the day. So these are quality players that they have on hand, and later on they'll likely introduce Boogie Margarcia as well. One person that they're missing right now is Jo Marie Sapal, who is a good player, but he is fasting as of the moment. So, you know, he's going to be on as a substitute. But one player to look at is Darwin Regala. Of course, he is a new recruit for them and somebody certainly that should boost the ranks, particularly in defense.
Of course, we wrap up our player to watch with Philippine Army. We're going to take it to our coach interview in a bit to see what's going on now heading into this next game of theirs.
Yun nga, yung preparation namin now is, alam namin na malakas yung kalaban. So, una muna is 5 to 10 minutes kailangan namin mag-observe bago kami umatake. Tao-tao naman kasi is lubi talaga. Kasi si Army is solid all Filipino. So, kailangan namin mag-observe bago kami mag-atake. Yan lang.
There you go. That's the outlook of Philippine Army heading into this one. As we just wrapped up the preview for the Troopers, we will jump ship over to Stallion Laguna FC Championship hopefuls. Of course, they made in that race to make it to the top 6, and they are coming off that 1-1 draw versus Maharlika and did get to salvage a point right here. It's as if Stallion have been hot and cold, Jeng, but people expect more from them.
Yeah, 100%. It's because they've been around for so long that you expect them to be on that upward trajectory. But there has been a lot of chopping and changing in their lineup. And of course, this squad that has started 2026 is basically a whole new one again, right? So, but one thing that you can say about them is that this 2026 has been a positive one so far, right? They are undefeated. They have gotten good results against their direct rivals. And it seems as if the upward trend has begun here for Stallion Laguna, and it's come at a good time because we are now in the second round and they really need to start picking up momentum.
And they will be in a 4-3-3 formation of theirs. And these are essentially the names that you would see in the previous game of theirs. You could expect Finn McDaniel to play up front, and you'll have Juan Galeana Trujillo on the wing right here. Zamorano Hoatam was recently with Cebu, but he is with Stallion now. Osman Badji, he's been one of the tallest guys here. The guy looks like a tank playing at the back for them. But we will head over to our player to watch right here for Stallion Laguna. Yes, Finn McDaniel leads the way for them in scoring with 15. But there's one Galiana Trujillo who actually has 10 assists so far in this season. He's essentially one of the top playmakers in the league. He is in that upper tier.
That is a spectacular return. 10 assists means, you know, he's getting into dangerous areas and he's really being able to find the danger zones for his teammates to capitalize on. And of course, he is capable of finding the back of the net as well. Scored a very important goal against Águilas to get them moving in a positive direction in that match. He really set the table for them. So, you know, he's going to be a key player to watch. And if they're going to try to, if Philippine Army is going to try to lock things down, he's a man that they need to keep a close eye on.
2 goals also for Galiana Trujillo so far in this season, and we will jump ship to our coach interview, of course, for Stallion Laguna.
It's been a bit unlucky last week. We had a few injuries we had to deal with, but hopefully today we'll be able to make the adjustments for this game. Right? So we want to build towards the critical games. Yeah, it's important that we keep our momentum and not drop any more points.
Coach Ern Yeras giving us his outlook, of course, in this game. There's a lot of storylines. We're gonna unpack that, Jing, over the course of this game. I am sure you did get a number of interesting conversations down on the ground. A lovely day for football when you look at it. The sun now being covered by the clouds. It is just blazing also earlier. That a bit magnified by the turf. It's great that we have this early fixture, but the weather looking quite pleasant. I hope I'm not cursing it, of course, as you know.
Yeah, the warm-ups were brutal for the guys. It was a cold evening last night, but this afternoon it's been blazing hot. So some much welcome cloud cover right before kickoff here.
And they have to take advantage of that, of course, because summer is right around the corner. We are midway through February, nearing March already, where conditions will get even more challenging. Will Army storm in for an upset? Or will Stallion Laguna get back to winning ways? Your pick right here. Join us for match number 79 in your Philippines Football League 2025-2026 season. And we'll take it to stadium announcer David Yumol now for our players' entrance. Here's your lineup for Philippine Army FC. It's Coach Ronel Hener's crew as we get to picture. You also have the Bedia cousins right there. Mr. Football himself did say they are his nephews. Proudly, mind you, as we have a look at our referees and our team captains. Jalsor Soriano and it's Finn McDaniel. And Meliton Pelayo is our referee for this afternoon. His assistants, sila Paul Galicia at Aldous Mirafuentes. Si Mick John Pineda ay ang fourth official. Si Noel Marquez ay ang referee assessor. Si Mr. Gene Abella ay ang ating match commissioner. Stallion Laguna are rocking their new purple uniforms. Philippine Army will be in immaculate white. We got to see Army's lineup earlier. Let's head over to Stallion Laguna. It's a 4-3-3 for Coach Ernie.
Great to see Koichi Belgira back fit and able to provide his services for Coach Ernie Nieras. Abraham Placito is going to be in that midfield. Trujillo, of course, a man to watch. And Finn McDaniel, he has been their leading scorer. He's got 15 goals to his name, and he's looking to get to 20 as quick as possible. And they have lots of support off the bench as well. When you look at Stallion Laguna, there's just so much firepower they have at their disposal. It's just about being able to put things together in a nice package and to keep it consistent.
They will be oh so dangerous if they manage to do that, as we are going to take it to center circle. Ago Ariola is going to kick off this match. So Ariola and Celis, once the dynamic duo for Green Archers United, are with Philippine Army. They've been with the Troopers for quite some time already. They are showing us why they have the professional experience.
Very interesting to me, Claro, and forgive me for cutting in, was what Coach Ronell mentioned earlier on in his interview was that they're going to observe in the first 5 to 10 minutes. It's a real departure from the previous statements he's made where they're trying to start quickly. And that kind of, bit them a little bit when they tried to start quickly against Cebu because they got scored on very, very early in that game. So I think we might see a return to a more conservative approach from Army, which I think will do them well in these types of matches when you're up against so much firepower like they face right now here against Stallion Laguna.
Center circle, we are going to kick this one off at 4 p.m. on the dot. You see the intention of Stallion Laguna. They've got 4 players on the half line. Here we go. Army again, the Troopers in white. Stallion Laguna in purple. Flag is raised here though from our assistant referee. And referee Militon Pelayo acknowledges that. So Finn McDaniel with 15. So essentially, we do the math. He wants to score 5. He wants to reach 20 total goals in this season. As of this game, they score, they win. Let's oversimplify things, of course.
Well, this is a game that, if you're a striker, you're licking your lips because Army have been porous this season. And if you've got your shooting boots on and you apply the pressure, but there's some confidence from the goalkeeper. Look at that.
That's Mark Anthony Bedia. So Army actually took part in the 2024 season, where 15 teams got to play against each other once. Mark Anthony Bedia was also named man of the match a number of times, where he put in splendid performances. He lets his playing do the talking, as we know. Belgira to Hoatam. Yes, that is Zamorano Hoatam, who was previously with Cebu. Belgira, is he able to win this? It will stay with them. Things getting quite physical with Joshua Gatinaw. We expect that with Army, as always, Jing, that physical play.
Actually, it's something that's been sorely lacking from them, particularly in the first round. It's part of their legacy, it's part of their reputation, but they've made a bit of a departure from that. But it's important that they rediscover that bit of bite, that bit of nastiness in the way they play. Not going overboard and picking up red cards left and right, but just providing that intensity and making life difficult for the opposition. That's crucial for them, and that was a good tackle from Darwin Regala.
There's that fine line between physical and rough. Hard to exactly make things black and white.
You want to be able to make that line as gray as possible. At least if you're a Philippine Army, where perhaps you're up against players with greater technique or a bit more athletic than you, you want to make it a bit more of a battle.
Hoatam. McDaniel shoots and scores. First blood here. They score in the 3rd minute. Just what the doctor ordered here. Now donning the number 14. Since his return, he is showing the number 4. So I think he wants 4 more.
Well, that didn't take long, Claro, and to be fair to Philippine Army, it was actually a decent start from them. They were knocking the ball around quite well, but in this particular passage of play, they just didn't get enough numbers inside the box. And once Hoatam slipped through, it's a great finish as well, though, from Finn McDaniel. All credit to him. He did not need an extra touch. He knew where the goal was, and he absolutely rifled it into the back of the net.
Striker's mentality right there from Finn McDaniel himself. And also, no surprise, Juan Galiana Trujillo was involved in that play. Not essentially getting the assist, but essentially put that ball in the dangerous area where Hoatam essentially set it up. Yes, it was poked away by a trooper, but it went the way of Finn McDaniel. No good here.
It's a painful blow here for Philippine Army. It's important they don't slump their shoulders this early in a match, as they've been on the wrong end of quite a few heavy score lines.
That's Mark de Guzman, who got hit by Galiana Trujillo on the swing. And look at Coach Neil. He's been more active as of late in the sidelines, actually. That was the case in their previous game versus Maharlika, although he is heavily involved with Stallion, even with their women's team, we will say.
Now, speaking to Coach Ernie Nieras earlier, change is on the horizon for Stallion Laguna. They're one of the OGs in Philippine club football in this top tier alongside Kaya. And Coach Ernie Nieras has always been a fixture on the sideline for them. But it seems his time is coming to a close. Said to me earlier that this is going to be his last season, Claro, and that is big news.
Don't make people cry, Jing, this early on a Sunday. Well, first, they're on the attack once more. There's a defensive header, half cleared only. Jalsor Soriano was able to get it out. It was that team effort to clear that that unideal clearance from Jalsor. Well, fitting that they are the Philippine Army troopers. Soriano will have to beat the tank in the back line. Coach Ronel Henner in the technical area. And you did see in the grandstand, Roel Henner, his brothers, is also present, a member of the Miracle in Hanoi, Ascals. That's where it all started.
It's great to see that he's out here supporting, and it's a testament to the program of Philippine Army, and it's one of the reasons why it comes as a bit of a shock, and perhaps there's may halong frustration and disappointment na ganito yung kalagayan ngayon ng Philippine Army, because it is a program that you want to see thrive once more, and they have a famous tradition of being a football powerhouse in the country, and you'd love to see them return to that. I mean, the national team was littered with so many Army players in the past. So you hope that they're able to turn things around and get back into that sort of that quality that they had in the past.
Cleared off here to safety by Chai Villaseñor, and it'll be a corner to Stallion. Nico Macmillan played that forward to Galiana Trujillo and sent that ball to the center. Let's see how this will go. Stallion with the height, even when you look at Usman Baji and Mr. Incredible, A. Placito. Army, not the tallest team. Try to push them though, you will regret it. Obviously fitting. That's how you describe our armed forces. They bring that grit also here. Ago Ariola's clearance though just makes it a corner on the other side. It's Zamorano Hoatam. Goes for the back post.
Army doing well to body up in that corner kick. Clear height discrepancy between the two squads.
Headed and brought to safety. It's with Celis. Lovely ball, gets to connect on the right side. But it just goes to the towering Usman Baji. Hoatam trying to split the defense. McDaniel returned it. There's Belgira also on the left to help. Koichi goes for one. And cleared by Villasenor. Plenty of defending from Army early on. Nine minutes in already. It's 1-0 thanks to Finn McDaniel. Army having to sit deep. Sent forward. Secured by Mark Apedia.
I don't mind this from Philippine Army. Sitting deep, getting numbers inside the box, frustrating the opponent. It's far preferable to leaking goals early on. Yes, they've been undone by a good strike from Finn McDaniel. They want to make sure they plug the gaps early on here and be able to keep this scoreline the way it is for as long as possible.
And with that, they can resume play from the middle. Roy Kent Bedia will send it forward. Celis. Bedia. He'll play it long. They'll try to test Ken Pride. Usman Baji just came in flying. Shot now here, but it was clearly wide. But just let that one go.
It's gotta like that. It wasn't a bad attempt from distance. Caught it clean. A good power on it. It just wasn't on target.
Vasquez exchanging touches with Belgira. Baji. And we did mention Yusuf, but an international for Pakistani. And with the young history of the PFL, he appears to be the first player to play for the Philippines when you refer to it, or the first Pakistani to play in the Philippines.
In my knowledge too, yeah, we haven't had a Pakistani player here in the Philippine top flight, and an international player at that too.
Because when you talk about national team players for Tajikistan, you've got Amir Jurabuev, who played in the PFL once upon a time.
Yes.
Fatih Kudoydodzora, the U23 national team of Tajikistan. And back in the UFL days, there were a number of players from the Guam national team who would actually play right here in the country.
We had a couple of internationals from Timor-Leste as well, if I'm not mistaken.
You had the likes of Kaká. And they were with Aguilas in the first half of the season. They even had Ruben Thiran of Malaysia. Oh, let's not forget Muzino, a Timor-Leste player, just like Kaká.
Yes.
But it's with Zamorano Hoatam. Finn McDaniel is clearly blocked. Koichi Belgira under plenty of pressure. Vasquez to Placito. Belgira. Back with McDaniel. Shoots, but it's way over.
Again, you see the instincts of McDaniel. He is a real striker. That ball bounces towards him. He knows he can take a shot from that kind of distance. It's in his range. And he goes for goal right away. This time it's off target.
That makes him 1 for 2, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, who starts their game? First shot is in.
Well, he is the leading scorer for a reason.
Well, the striker role is very competitive in the McDaniel household. You get to pick Finn or Chandler. They duel for that. Through ball from Mr. Incredible. But that was not so incredible because there's a great stop from Villaseñor. So we have former Green Archers United players, former Kaya players right here for Army. That's why the expectations are quite high for them because of the experience that they bring to the table. And you even mentioned, Jing, overseas experience.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, when you look at it on paper, more is expected from them. That was a good save from Bedia. But it's about how they apply themselves, how they train, how they keep this squad together, and how they provide the reinforcements. Right now, what's going on is not enough.
And there's a corner because Bedia got to save the shot of U23, Philippines International, Nico Macmillan. It's with Finn, but there's a foul. It will go the way of Army, and they are really defending as a unit, looking to stay compact.
Just going back on that previous point, Claro, what's important to keep in mind is that tumataas kasi yung level talaga ng Philippine football. So kung ano yung gumagana dati, hindi ibig sabihin gagana ngayon. Right? So you really need to raise your game and get with the times and make sure that you're making strides the same way that other teams are doing as well.
Once upon a time, the armed forces teams just owned everybody. That was in the last decade or so.
And one of the big aspects to that, Claro, was their fitness. They ran people to the ground. And sad to say, that has not been an aspect that you could say has been a real prominent figure in the way they've put themselves out there this season.
Because when you talk about ultimate fitness, ultimate physicality, look at a team like Manila Digger. They bring that to the table, and their players have that fantastic technical ability. So the game has definitely evolved. And it will be a corner once more. Hoatham sends it with his right. If Usman Baji cannot reach that, then that is definitely too high.
But Army have been doing well in keeping things tight here on set pieces, because you would say this is an aspect of the game where they could get exploited. There's a player down for them, though, unfortunately.
Possession at 65-35, 15 minutes into this game. Not a good sign here. Let's have another look. From the look in the replay, that is Ago Ariola. Back on his feet. Well, with what we mentioned, obviously, these guys are built tough.
It's just an awkward landing for Ariola. He seems to have been able to shake it off without any need for treatment.
Coach Ernie pictured. He did mention, Jing, it's going to be his last season.
One of the more colorful figures here in Philippine football, and we're certainly going to miss him, but he's still got a lot of games here this season, so it's time for us to really savor the Ernie Nieres experience while we still can.
I will say pre-game chats with Coach Ernie are always great and memorable.
I second that, yeah.
A lot of things I can't mention. We had a crazy chat before Futsal World Cup also. Speaking of Coach Ernie, his son Matt was the captain of Stallion up until the end of last calendar year.
He's gonna go for it. Oh, he scored a beauty not too long ago from way out. Roy Kent Bedia, or rather this time it's Ariola, but unable to find the target on that occasion.
He would have put that away in another day. Ago Ariola, tried and tested striker. He would terrorize the backline of Ceres back in the day, an AFC team at that time. They played forward. Hoatam switched over to the right. Galiana Trujillo. And it's in the safe hands of Bedia.
You mentioned Matthew Nieres earlier. Saw him yesterday. actually on the sidelines now, you know, nurturing the next generation over in the UAP high school division. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him on the sideline here for Stallion Laguna as well.
The thing there with Matt Nieres is he's involved with Lasal Zobel's football program. Cleared off by Bedia, but it ricocheted off McDaniel.
You know, that what a wealth of experience, what a wealth of knowledge that you're able to gain from a player like Matthew Nieres, who's dedicated, you know, over a decade of his life playing in the top flight of Philippine football. Has played for the national team. Incredible player, and you know, went through the UAP as well. So definitely a guy that, as a young player, that's a person you learn from.
And over at our last edition of the Minsan Football Show, we had that trivia from PFL Bible. Matt Nieres played the most minutes, is that right, in the PFL?
Oh, I wasn't part of that show, but if you say so, you know, it's not a piece of trivia that would shock me. Definitely, Matthew Nieres has been around the league for a very long time and played a lot of minutes, played against some very high-level opposition.
And I will say this also before I forget. Matt Nieres was also our colleague a number of seasons covering UAP games. He really gave us the player's perspective, exposed the dark arts.
Lahat ng aspeto nagawa na ni Matt Nieres in and around football. Coach, player, commentator. Now he's making programs.
I have a great idea. So after this season, Coach Ernie and Matt can join us in the panel for PFL. That is going to be electric. But back to the action. The Troopers with this free kick from the left. They're going to have to be sneaky here, I assume, given that they're not the tallest team. And just like that, they won it back. Kumban will cross it. Casually secured by Butt. Koichi. Gaku. He's that holding mid and hits it to the right. Placito. Hoatam in the tight space. Well, Gaku takes a fall, and there's the whistle eventually from Militon Pelayo. And I reckon this is in Finn McDaniel range. Here's a look at that play that went on.
Wow, he's lucky not to get a yellow there. Tackle was a bit high from Bedia, but those two instances are perhaps no better showcase of the contrast of the players of these two teams. Bedia and his counterpart, and then you saw earlier Placito shrugging off Celis. It's quite a size discrepancy that you see in that midfield.
It's Finn McDaniel standing up to this one. Going back with that, Placito versus Celis. Tallest versus one of the shortest. Finn takes it. Slipped through the wall, but that could not fool Bedia.
That's what you want. It's on target. Scored recently from a free kick against Aguilas. He has that quality in his locker.
Open player free kick. We've gotten the chance to witness a number of goals from Finn McDaniel here. Soriano, but it ended up with Macmillan. Won it now. They tried to give the early cross off of Villaseñor. Bedia gets to prevent a corner. Well, there's a trooper down here. It's Villaseñor who got shaken up.
And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to fitness for Philippine Army. They've been really struggling with keeping their players on the pitch for 90 minutes. Sai Villaseñor has had a bit of trouble. Jalsor Soriano has had a bit of trouble. Roy Kent Bedia has not been able to really complete 90 minutes on a regular basis. So you have some of these players that you rely on. Yes, they have good experience. Yes, they have quality. But if they're wilting in the middle of a game, it's difficult to get the performances and the results that you're looking for.
The thing here with Army is that their players have to juggle football duties and their military duties. As we know, their players are enlisted, so that's an extra challenge for them.
However, I will argue, Claro, that that's not something that has changed over the years. That's always been the case for them.
So of course the question is, how do they figure it out? As it's on to the left with Koichi. Tries to shake off his man. Won't play it back. Vasquez. Placito providing that option. Gaku. Vasquez again. Baji will continue on the left. Hoatam. Clever from him. Koichi crosses eventually. But this one heads out.
Promising attack, disappointing delivery mula kay Koichi Belgira. And, you know, we've been speaking a lot about Philippine Army. Stallion have scuppered a little bit here in their momentum in this first half. And they haven't been able to create the opportunities with regularity. And credit must go a little bit to Philippine Army, but at the same time, the connections haven't been that fluid with this front line of Stallion Laguna.
We're in the 24th minute already. So Finn McDaniel did score in the third. So with you mentioning that, the troopers are getting some confidence now. Every stop definitely helps. Ken Pride, over the last few seasons, he did suffer from a number of injuries. Good to see him on the mend. Baji to Placito. McDaniel, can he get past Villaseñor? Buries it there, makes it 2-0 in the 25th. I think he heard you, Jing.
Yun na nga, narinig ata ako ni Finn McDaniel, because right on cue, they link up to perfection there. Just sliding that ball into a position where Finn McDaniel didn't need to take a touch, and he's expertly taken it first time. It's a beautiful finish and a beautiful move from Stallion Laguna. Look at that, Placito. And it's a tight angle, huh? When you look at it. But Finn McDaniel makes it look easy.
Number 14, Finn McDaniel.
Coach Ronel Hener and his crew trail 2-0 at the moment as we have our cooling break. That's gotta hurt if you're a Philippine Army conceding. Well, if it helps for them, there's a cooling break to somewhat ice the momentum, so they could make their adjustments here and there. Confirmation of our score. McDaniel with goals the 3rd and 25th.
They did well stifling Stallion for 22 minutes in between McDaniel goals. And they can take a bit of confidence from that. But again, Stallion Laguna, more of that is what is needed. And need to find those nice link-ups into the box. You talked about icing the momentum. Ang problema, klaro, pumasok sila dito sa break. Wala silang ibang iniisip kundi yung pagka-concede nila ng goal ngayon. So they hopefully are not wallowing too much in the disappointment of going 2 down here. But otherwise, I would say in the grand scheme of things, it's promising that they've been a little bit better in their defensive solidity. It has been a very porous season in terms of them conceding goals, but we're seeing signs that they're becoming a little bit more stable.
Quite the different approach now for Army, I will say. They have that back line sitting a bit deep. I'd see other games, they'd actually put their back line close to the half.
Yes, yes.
They choke you, figuratively, of course.
However, yun yung sanang gusto nilang mangyari, pero hindi hindi yun yung nakikita natin on the pitch. Ang nangyayari, nababatuhan sila ng bola sa likod and nagsastruggle sila to run back towards their own goal. And, you know, it looks good theoretically to play with a high press, to play out the back, all of these things that modern football is known for. But if you are unable to implement those styles correctly, it's so easy to concede. It's so easy to be punished. And many times, yun yung rason kung bakit nasuskoran ang Philippine Army.
Easier said than done, as we know. That is why the players do the talking here.
And that's why I like this return to a more conservative approach. You know, go back to basics and, you know, build off of that before you start venturing out into other things.
Macmillan resumes this as he got it to Placito. Hoatham hit the deck. Play on, says our referee. Finn again, off of Villaseñor. But it will be another corner kick.
Kakausapin dito ni Militon Pelayo si Roy Kent Pedia. He is very close to a yellow card now. He went high earlier on against Isagaku. He's taken out Hoatam there. He's a very lucky boy not to already be in the book.
If I remember correctly also earlier, nagkaroon din siya ng warning when you refer to Roy Kent Pedia. Corner kick mula kay Juan. Came off of Gaku. There's another trooper down though, just outside of the 6-yard box.
Another awkward landing. I'm interested to see who that is.
My initial look here is that it's Villaseñor. That's confirmed.
This time it looks like he's struggling with a bit of contact on his neck. Not a player they want to lose, Claro.
It's Soriano and Villaseñor, your center backs for Philippine Army. It's a foot race now. Celis did get it, but Soriano has to escape this. They have to hit the emergency button and clear it. It only goes as far as Ken Pride. Gaku kay Badji. Over to Pride. Na kay Placito. Hoatam got it back from Finn McDaniel. Koichi Belgira was going to go for it, but it was secured by the Army defense. Pressure continues. Caliana Trujillo. Stopped, Finn secures. Reflex, stop there from Mark Anthony Pedia. That was 2 saves.
Yeah, impressive from Bedia. Still has that quickness about him.
One eventually sends the early cross. Koichi Belgira to chase. He was in a more advanced position. The Army escort this ball out. May throw-in sila.
30 minutes gone. You could see the scorer of both goals, Finn McDaniel. He is on a one-track mind right now. He's not interested in taking any extra touches. Everything has been about, if I'm in and around the area, I'm going to take a shot on goal. Even in those last 2 sequences, nakita natin, isa lang talaga ang iniisip niya. He's looking for 5 today. It's an ambitious goal, but he's already got 2 down very early in this game.
They want to put this result beyond doubt early on. And it's a whistle against the troopers. Philippine Army in white, Stallion Laguna in purple. Army playing behind the ball. They trail 2-0. Stallion Laguna playing from right to left. They are pushing and controlling the tempo right here. We've witnessed a number of free kicks already for both sides. We also include the attacks of Philippine Army.
And it's been a surprise that they haven't been able to connect with Isagaku and Usman Badji better from these set pieces. They've had a lot of chances now.
Here comes the service. Off of Chalsor Soriano. Vasquez to Belgira. Things getting physical. Army send it to safety. A bit of that chaos on the pitch given we're coming off that free kick. Placito. Paji. Flag is raised here though for Belgira.
It's a great touch from Nate McMillan. Keep possession for them, just keeping things tidy. The intention was good to set Koichi Belgira free on that left side. Just went a little bit too early. Wasn't looking down the line.
Coach Neil and Coach Cherney look on. 12 minutes from additional time. It's 2-0. Philippine Army with their work cut out. Let's look at the recent form also. So in this new calendar year, 2 games played for Philippine Army, both losses. Stallion, on the other hand, a win and a draw. Well, but we were highlighting again, dito para sa Army. They got to score 4 goals in the last 2 games.
That's right.
Roy Kenbedia and Gatinao got to score in that 6-2 loss to Tuloy. Ariola and Celis got to score in that defeat to Cebu, which was a little more recent.
Roy Pedia's goal against Tuloy was, you know, if it wasn't in a game where they lost 6-2, it would be a goal of the season contender. It was a thing of beauty, it really was. But at least they're starting to find the back of the net, because they had to wait a very long time to get their first of the season, courtesy of Jimuel Ariola.
Corners left and right dito para sa Laguna. But the question, Jing, o ang tanong, for how long can you carry on with these consolation goals where you score, okay, hindi naka-clean sheet yung kalaban?
Yeah, you know, it's gonna get old very, very quickly. And there's certainly gonna be a reassessment that needs to take place with Army and how they approach things. There's even been rumors that they're interested in potentially exploring the option of bringing in foreign recruits to boost their ranks.
Kaku, but quickly Hotham got it forward. And De Guzman was not able to clear it, but at least you can look at things in the perspective that they delayed the attack, but it's corner after corner that really strains the defense here. McMillan. Headed, but it's over from Ken Pride from the looks of it. Getting forward also as that center back. The back line of Stallion pushing inside their attacking half.
We've been waiting for Stallion to connect with a header inside the box. Surprise, surprise, si Ken Pride pa. Yung player na, kung makikita natin, hindi kalakihan in comparison to some of his teammates. And he will be disappointed by that. Once he sees back this video, he was right in front of goal, and it was a free header in the end.
Mark Anthony Bedia to resume with his goal kick. So Army all Filipino, and given what you said, interesting. They're looking to bring in reinforcements from outside. So all Filipino, meaning all homegrown. They learned their football here in the Philippines or in the country.
I'm a bit divided on that idea of them bringing in foreign recruits. Yes, I do want to see them improve very, very badly. I do want to see a strong and formidable Philippine Army side, but to make that departure from the way they've conducted themselves so drastically is perhaps a step too far, in my opinion. Perhaps might be better for them to shore up all of the other things that can be controlled, to train more effectively, to make sure that everybody is as fit as can be, and then maybe start recruiting other Filipinos. Tap the reserves, try to find ways to bolster your ranks in that fashion before going out and trying to pick up a few foreign recruits.
And with Nico Palacio receiving that ball earlier, he was able to bring it forward. Gets them this lovely opportunity. 8 minutes remaining until additional time. We'll need to see that creativity from Army. Here's the outswinger. Chested by Ariola. It's a foot race. Secured here from Darwin Regala. Hoatam, can he win it? Now Regala will bring it back. So his recent stint with Manila Digger, as we did say. So a number of civilians right here, right, to bolster Philippine Army. There's also Johnny Toledo. He was actually with Stallion when they played in the AFC Cup. That was years back.
There's a lot of local talent that they could tap and would make them competitive. Celis bringing down Placito. It's not an easy thing to do.
You're mentioning the contrast, right? One of the shortest players in the pitch and one of the tallest.
Never mind on the pitch, Claro, in the league.
There you go. And Jan Celis, just like that pocket rocket, as we know. He could give you that offense, that burst of speed.
He's a quality player. He's been deployed now more these days in the middle of the pitch, whereas before he was a speedy winger. Ooh.
Oh, a chance here to take it away, but Ken Pride came to the rescue. He ensured that Gumban did not get that.
Importante dito para sa Stallion, hindi nila hayaan na maging masyadong relaxed. They can't take their foot off the gas completely, or else they could get punished. And on the contrary, they should really be putting their foot firmly on the gas. It's a very tight league. It's been very competitive this 2025-26 season. And you never know when goal difference is going to play a part in how things unfold. And you have the opportunity to press an advantage. You really have to take, you know, try to push that advantage all the way.
So if teams are tied in the standings on points, o kung sakaling may tie, goal difference will be the next factor. That is why every moment, goal, game, what you said, all of the above counts right here. Because you will feel that advantage dun sa goal difference right at the end of the season.
And you don't have to look too far. Just yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, Cebu was playing like their life depended on it against Tuloy. Every goal they scored, and they won that game 10-0, by the way. Every goal they scored, they were picking the ball out of the back of the net and getting the game restarted as quick as possible. Ganun ang mindset dapat ng mga teams that are in the top 6.
Normally, we would see something like that for a team who's trailing or chasing the game. But we are absolutely sure that they discussed that in the dugout, I will say personally. Hoatam. McDaniel got to secure. Kaku. Belgira. Also had a stint in Myanmar. Not often you hear of Filipino players heading there. He did have success there.
He's a good player, Koichi Belgira. Started as a real promising talent with Loyola Meralco Sparks, and you know, he's made a real career in the top flight of Philippine football. It's unfortunate he got injured right before the start of this season, but it's good to see him back on the pitch and contributing for Stallion.
And this diagonal ball of Palacio was played. It was looking promising, but offside is the call here against Ariola. I'm not sure if things are getting a bit heated there. Ariola gave a bit of a tap to Macmillan. Didn't seem so friendly. 3 minutes remaining. Army would be keen to do damage control at the least. Or will somebody sneak in a goal? And there is the welcome to the Philippines, or welcome to the PFL moment for Gaku. Gumban giving a big hello.
It's come in considerably late there, Renz Gumban. Bit of a shoulder check. It also goes to show how sturdy these players are up against these giants.
Army looking to unleash. Palacio. Let's remember Palacio was with UE in the UAAP. Baji got to break free. Quite some pace there for a person with that height. Galiana Trujillo contra De Guzman. That's won by Mark.
It's great defending from De Guzman. Trujillo is a tricky customer, and he's timed his challenge to perfection.
Not a good sight to see here for the troopers. De Guzman got shaken up in that play itself. Let's have another look. Accidental contact, of course.
Trujillo arguing that he got there earlier and was kicked in the process. De Guzman will win the whistle. And the way things stand right now, Claro, it's not too bad for Philippine Army. You talked about the discrepancy in possession. It's something that they shouldn't worry too much about as long as they're keeping Stallion Laguna out. And right now, in terms of clear-cut chances, there haven't been that many for Stallion Laguna. And it's credit to Finn McDaniel that the opportunities that have come, he's absolutely buried them.
3 minutes of additional time, as confirmed by fourth official Mick John Pineda. And in this situation, the next goal, the most important one, if we see one. If the troopers score, they get a lifeline. If Stallion get to score, and there's that chance of roughly putting it away and getting at a safe distance.
Definitely. Once you're in a two-goal situation like this, that third goal absolutely crucial. It will dictate how proceedings go for the rest of the match. And because of a lack of ruthlessness from Stallion, that question still remains. And the prospect of how this match will play out, we are still set to see how it unfolds.
Gaku won that well with his feet. Ken Pride, binigay dito kay Baji. Belgier and Vasquez swap places briefly. Hoatam. Belgira got to intercept. Baji will head back. Ken Pride was Filipino-English, was born in Portsmouth. Zamorano Hoatam plays it over the top. This one too strong and secured by Mark Bedia. Time continues to tick here again. So far, it is a first half brace for Finn McDaniel. Bedia had the intention of kick-starting Army's offense. Some friendly fire between Soriano and Villaseñor. This one just ping-ponging around. It's a bit strange to see that it's Army really getting shaken up in this game, Jing.
Yeah, just got backed into there. Bedia. Don't get us wrong here, Claro. They've certainly given as much as they taken in this match at the Philippine Army. But clear foul there. Went hip to hip. A little too physical in that aerial duel. But not too long ago in their visit to Cebu, they were 5 goals down at this juncture. So this is an improvement from Philippine Army.
It's that silver lining again. You have to take the positives, just go on to the next one and the next one.
They've managed to keep themselves in the game, and that's crucial for them.
It's those small building blocks here and there that they'll need to take. Pressure is on Stallion again, given that they are in the top 6 race. There's the goal difference they have to chase again. Hit to the left from Villaseñor. Placito got floored, but that is eventually the halftime whistle at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is 2-4 Stallion Laguna, 0 Philippine Army. We're going to take a break, and we are going to catch you in a bit, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have on score of this match is Philippine Army FC 0 and Stallion Laguna FC 2.
Halftime at the Rizal Memorial Stadium in your Philippines Football League action between Philippine Army FC and Stallion Laguna. 2-0 for Stallion Laguna. Finn McDaniel with an early brace, you could say. It's been mainly Stallion dictating traffic here. But Jing, interesting with Army, it appears that they stepped up their game defensively.
100%. They have definitely a lot more sturdy in how they've conducted themselves, but there's been some great finishing from Finn McDaniel that has unlocked them on 2 occasions. Again, the shooting boots are on. He is on a mission to get as many as possible today, and as you can see here, he is on point today, Finn McDaniel.
He got to put away the chances of Stallion, which you pointed out were relatively limited, as Nico McMillan also forced that stop mula kay Mark Anthony Bedia. A Placito to McDaniel. That's a combination that we've gotten used to over the years. Not just Galiana Trujillo to Finn, but also Placito.
And when you look at that, Sai Villaseñor doesn't put in a strong challenge. He thinks he's steering him towards a tight angle, and he thinks, yeah, he's probably not going to be able to score from there. But Finn McDaniel is a special talent, and you look at this, 10 shots, 8 of them on target, but just 2 goals have been scored. On the opposite end, of course, Philippine Army have not been able to mount too much going forward. They had a few moments where it looked like they could have had a bit of a threat, but all in all, you would have to say this is an improvement from Philippine Army. How they have been able to keep things tight at the back without looking completely unlocked is something that they can build off of. And you mentioned this earlier in the first half, the next goal will really dictate how this match unfolds. A goal from Philippine Army gets them right back into the thick of things. A third goal would see Stallion pretty much seal the 3 points this afternoon.
The next goal, if we will see one, will be the most important one. Kickoff dito sa Rizal Memorial Stadium for your second half. So we got to see Sapal and Margarce enter the game. Those changes will be made official once we kick off the second 45. Stallion Laguna in purple, Philippine Army in white and green. Alongside Jing Hamlang, this is Claro Manzano. We'll be calling the action today here in your Philippines Football League action. We've got a double header. So this is the curtain raiser. Later on, Aguilas Yumac and Don Bosco Garelli will square off.
And player number 24, Joshua Gatinao, were replaced by player number 55, Jomanay Sapal, and player number 23, Boogie Margaste.
I like these changes from Philippine Army.
It's with Hoatham. Send it to the middle.
Replaced by player number 84, Patrick Ling.
Galiana Trujillo wasn't able to work things out there. Credit to the defense, anchored by the likes of Jalsor Soriano. And Patrick Ling did enter. He was also with one Taguig previously. Cleared off by Villaseñor. The first 15 minutes always critical coming out of the halftime break.
Sapal and Margarce should bring a little bit more enterprise moving forward for Philippine Army.
And the thing also here with Army, someone we've gotten used to seeing is Yok Besite. Well, you see, he's not on the roster. He really brought them that leadership role in the previous seasons. Not just seasons, but over the years. But with them putting in Boogie Margarce, continuing to stay active here. Chance now forward, Ariola. Shoots here, it's a wonder goal! My oh my, but we've been talking about his quality also. Gave us a banger. Philippines.
Sensational, Claro. An incredible goal from Jimuel Ariola. His third of the season.
The Philippine Army with a lifeline now because they're within striking distance.
We talked about it. We repeated it. That next goal going to be crucial. And we haven't had to wait long at all. Just 2 minutes into the second half, the former Pakistani international beaten with a sensational strike.
That sense of urgency now from Galiana Trujillo. And there's the stop. Army will roll the dice once more. But you see Celi's very deep. Medyo traffic ngayon dito sa likod. There's the press. And if Celis can negotiate, they'll be wide open on the other side. But it's not going their way. Outside dito. Bola ng Stallion. I'm still shocked from that goal.
Impressive strike.
I don't say turn back the clock with Ago Ariola because he never stopped. That right hand there of Badji, I think, is bothering him. There's a yellow being shown, not the right hand. We got a closer look.
Yeah,
Hit to the shin.
It was a late tackle. Looked like the studs were up. Meliton Pelayo providing his first booking of the day. Coach Ernie Nieras looking a bit distraught with how things have started here in the second half. He was hoping to be able to explore his options a little bit, get a good goal, perhaps to settle the nerves, and then try to rotate his squad, but that is out the window. And as you can see here, he can't believe it right now. Yusuf Butt beaten by a sensational strike.
Ariola can get past Philippines internationals. No surprise. Do you say? He got to, it's not slip past, he got to blast it past.
Oh yeah.
The Pakistani international.
That's a great goal from way out as well. And he's hit side netting, giving the keeper very little opportunity to get his hand to that.
Badji seems a bit shaken up there, but is back on his feet. This will be a free kick from the midfield. Stallion will look to answer back. Bilgira played it forward. Holtam's ball was deflected. They got it back to Zamoranjo. Finn, in an opportunity to create. He had no angle to blast it past the keeper. Army looking different now. Patrick Ling, Koichi Belgira. Gaku switches it. Ariola. Soriano. Ling will survey. Koichi. So they put Belgira the left back role now. Now kay Ken Pride. A bit too high, but Galiana Trujillo able to keep it. Crosses blocked by Jalsor Soriano. Nico Macmillan. Placito. Cleared here by Sapal. Hoatam. He thought it was able to go through to McDaniel. This is a chance to get forward for Army. The looping ball from Margarce. Ariola. And it's a foul against him.
Sloppy that from Ariola. Just needed to body him. But masyadong malakas yung contact doon.
Intensity up at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
It's becoming a really good contest now. You can see the tempo has lifted, the intensity has lifted as well.
Stallion will reset at the back. Badji, 2-1. Placito, playing it. Finn, shoots but doesn't score. Well wide.
That one was a surprise that he's not hit the target there. A really good ball from Placido to get him in on goal.
That would have booked assist number 2 for Placido this afternoon if McDaniel nailed that one. That would have booked a hat-trick for Finn. Philippine Army continuing to hang on. Plenty of defending from Army, but with the way they're doing it, there's plenty of confidence. Ang tanong, or the question, can that translate to the attack? Or do you hang on and you may get a counter later to challenge Butt?
I think it's important to not get too excited about getting bodies forward. Right now, it's about keeping Stallion quiet, frustrating them, and taking advantage of your opportunities when they come about. Defensive solidity is the name of the game right now for Philippine Army. If they can keep this scoreline the way it is, all the better.
Numbers forward here. Ken Pride kay Macmillan. Over to Juan. Macmillan to Gaku. Patrick Ling. Koichi. The back line of Stallion well inside the attacking half. That could leave them exposed. That can get them extra numbers in the attack, as it is offside against Belgira and Laguna.
Time to enjoy a thing of beauty. Look at how far away he is from goal. And he's just lifted it, a little looper over the keeper. And that's about as fitting a celebration as you'll see from a Philippine Army player. Nice little salute to the crowd. Jimbo Larayola, take a bow, sir. Fantastic.
Do you remember the Chiefy Kaligdong celebration of the Air Force? He'd spread his wings. Sa Army naman, salute. Mula kay Jimbo Lago Ariola.
It's a full-blooded tackle from Sapal.
Gaku. He'll facilitate. Now that shot of Ago Ariola, I had to comprehend and think for a while. That came from the baseball field over at the other side.
Well, not quite as far as his teammates Roy Kent Bedia's goal in the past, but it was definitely way out. That's the nature of football. Things can change very, very quickly.
Jalsor. Had to clear that ball from De Guzman. Safety first. You love how this just shifted another gear up. I still think intensity can climb this afternoon in this game. Placido plays it through.
Well, Stallion's going to want to pick up that intensity. They're starting to make more runs in behind now. They can't allow the prospect of Philippine Army picking up their first point being against them. That is really unacceptable for them.
Philippine Army winless in 10 games.
And not just that, they haven't had even a draw. So they're pointless after 10 games.
Here's the corner kick forward. Belgira still wants to go right. No whistle here.
Fantastic challenge, got the ball.
But Palacio is shaken up from that challenge of his. Slowly went down to the ground.
Payne came in a bit delayed. He got the ball, but as a result, siya yung natamaan ni Galiana Trujillo.
All part of the game, as we say and as we know. Well, Palacio went in no fear in that situation. And Gaku got to pressure Gumban. Throw and taken quickly. It will remain with Placido. He will have to deliver the incredible here against a tank like Jalsor Soriano. But they are going to change things up. It is going to be a long throw, courtesy of Nico Macmillan.
It's not a bad idea. A lot of giants in the box there for Stallion.
Off of Placito. Soriano's in the way. He has a teammate down. Celis will clear. Gumban got beaten by Ken Pride. Patrick Ling, the Filipino Swiss. Pride gets to collect. Capable of also playing fullback, and we will stop play.
A player down. And he has been for quite some time, actually, while play was continuing. It's Villaseñor. I believe it's for the third time in this match where he's been on the deck for an extended period.
15 fouls combined between our two teams sa halftime.
Parang maliit pa nga yun eh.
But that's quite a figure already.
It
at
is.
the halftime mark.
But one thing you will see in this game that has not been a trend in previous matches for Philippine Army is that they've managed to make every possible situation a battle. And that's important. You want to make it a little bit difficult for Stallion to be able to express themselves. And right now they've been doing enough to stifle Stallion and making it an easy game. And that's all you can ask for right now from Philippine Army.
But now there is a go Ariola. It is the right leg. This may be connected to what you were saying earlier, fitness being a potential issue right here for the Troopers. You see Coach Boogie Margarce checking on Ariola, of course. So Margarce did enter earlier in the halftime mark, and they gave him the armband. At papasok sila Acedo at Toledo dito para sa Troopers. So Renz Gumban will step off.
Substitution for
That change is now made official.
Player number 19, Renz Gumban, is replaced by player number 38, John
But this is not
Toledo.
good, Jing. Ariola is stepping off.
And he is a goal threat. Their leading scorer this season. At nakita naman natin yung kalidad niya. That certainly decreases their firepower up front. Pero, ang kapalit naman nun ay fresh legs para dito sa Philippine Army. And you hope that will be a positive change for them.
27, Triple Ariola, is replaced by player number 10, Jor Acedo.
That affects them up front, though, with their attack, given Ariola's ability to just give you bangers, challenge national team players.
So, ang hope dito ni Coach Ronel Hener ay si Johnny Toledo magbibigay ng buhay sa itaas. Perhaps with a bit more intensity defensively and perhaps in running in behind when they have an opportunity to counter.
Caliana Trujillo, Abe Placito. Came off the defense. Celis. Double teamed. Couldn't slip past. Macmillan used his reach. Here comes Placito. But McDaniel's looping ball appeared to lack power from what I saw.
He's trying to take a page out of Ariola's book out there just to try to lift it past the goalkeeper, but Roy Kent, or rather Mark Anthony Vidia, was not off his line.
Now they'll try the left. Hoatam naman daw. Well, there's a foul committed.
Here come the changes. Coach Ernie Nieras not waiting long to pull the trigger here. Terrence Smith coming on. Jacques Ebene Mokuta.
Player number 95, Usman Baji, is replaced
Both
by
coming
player
on.
number 42, T. Smith.
That will be the game for Osman
And
Baji
player number 11, JD
and Galeana Trujillo, surprisingly.
is replaced by player number 45.
That is Kevin Ebene Mokata. He scored in that last game of theirs. They were able to salvage a draw. Quite a build, if you ask me. Bringing it in. Gives a bit of that push. And there's the instant goal from Finn McDaniel. Instant impact from Kevin Ibenemukata.
Stallion Laguna able to re-establish their cushion. And it's a hat trick for Finn McDaniel. Buries that into the bottom corner. Masakit lang dun para sa Philippine Army. Claro, they shot themselves in the foot there. Jalsor Soriano, lackadaisical in getting the ball away from the defensive line, led to this attack. And it's crossed there for Finn McDaniel, who's done fantastic on that occasion.
When you need a goal, bring out Kevin Ibenemukata. Well, in the previous season, we called him a unit.
You talked about tanks earlier. That guy is built like a tank, Claro.
Nothing against Jalsor, but when Ibenemukata hit him, tumalsik si Jalsor. And Jalsor is the tank of Army. We were talking about times changing. Times changing now. Abe Placito is not the biggest player on the pitch anymore. My Kevin Ibenemukata, my Usman Badji. You also got Isak Gaku. It's with Koichi Belgira, Zamorano. There was power in that ball, but just gave it to Bedia. Army getting up tentatively now. They've done some defending. Palacio over to the right.
That's disappointing. It was a good move from Philippine Army, and they would have been through with a lot of space.
Approaching the 65th already. Played through from Placito. Zamorano Hoata nagmamadali. Finn McDaniel can make it 4 here.
Wow, what a miss from Finn McDaniel. Right outside that 6-yard box, right in front of goal. He's unable to hit the target there to bag his 4th goal and the 4th of Stallions.
Foul was against Ibenemukata. Talk about energy on the right wing. It will go the way of Jalsor Soriano and the Philippine Army. Later on again, we will have our second game of the day. Aguilas Yumac versus Don Bosco Garelli. But a recap, it's a hat trick for Finn McDaniel. But Army got to score a banger behind Ago Ariola. But he was subbed off. Ariola had some trouble with his right leg. But there's fresh legs dito para sa troopers. But if they bag one, when you refer to Philippine Army, or if they bag another one, they get themselves another lifeline.
That's their 3rd game in a row now that they've scored a goal. Scoring for quite some time actually was their real problem. They couldn't find the back of the net, and that has changed quite dramatically in 2026.
Hoatam. The fake here, taking on Darwin Regala.
Ooh, a tricky guy. Hoatam hit the side netting on that occasion, but you can see he's got a lot of pace, good technique, and close control. Him on one side, Mukata on the other. Stallion have some good options on the wings.
Long ball only ended up with Ken Pride. Placito to McDaniel. Blocked well here by Villaseñor. A corner kick ang tawag dito para sa Stallion.
After so many years watching Abe Placito as a center back, as a forceful center back at that, it's refreshing to see just how delicate he can caress the ball and put his teammates in behind. He has been the creative force in midfield. And when you look at him, without knowing anything about him, he's not the type of player that you would automatically think, ito siguro yung attacking midfielder nila. But boy, has he been effective.
Speaking of being effective, Benny Mokata off the bench. He's been troubling Philippine Army. But going back with Placito, he's called Mr. Incredible for a reason.
Misleading yung build eh. Clear handball.
We saw Placito get elevated to the midfield in 2024. He actually was not with the squad of Stallion in the first half of this season. He went back home to the United States. Back now with Stallion once more. Belgira from Ken Pride. McDaniel drifting to the left. Koichi. Patrick Ling. Placito. Hoatam now in the middle. Some traffic here. Finn trying to be cheeky, but it's no good.
That conversion rate is dropping pretty quickly here for Finn McDaniel. He's had a lot of attempts now. Granted, he has a hat trick, but he's missed the sitter. And he's going down inside the box like that, not gonna get a whistle.
It was 1-on-4 somehow. Benny Mokata almost got to win it for them.
At saka hindi believable eh, na mahulog siya ng ganung drastically given his build.
May pagka Mr. Incredible din eh, yung build ni Kevin Benny Mokata. It's with him now on the right. He's been taking corner kicks too, with Galliana Trio being subbed off. Here comes Finn. Forced a super save from Mark Bedia.
That's more like it from Finn McDaniel. He's latched onto that ball. He's got his defender on his shoulder, and he's gotten it on target, forcing a save from Mark Anthony Bedia. And it was a very good one.
And there will be a change. Hoatam will step off.
Substitution for Stallion Laguna.
So Memari Manesh will enter for Zamoran Hoatam.
Is replaced by player number 77, Amir Memari Manesh.
Chested by Placito. Hit the Army wall. Cross from Benny Mokata. Ended up with Smith. Army get to negotiate now. It's open in their attacking end. Celis wins that. If there's a foot race, you're going to come second to Jan Celis.
It's good work to keep possession. 20 minutes to go in this match. Philippine Army are still in this game, but they have to be careful. Stallion Laguna look extremely hungry to get a fourth, and they're getting closer and closer.
Kay De Guzman pa rin. De Guzman is getting close to playing the full 90 when you refer to Mark. It's Stallion Laguna in purple. Philippine Army, naka white and green. But it's with Gaku now. He will push. Ben Mokata doesn't push. He will shove his opponents. Almost an opportunity for Amir Memari Manesh to get involved from the get-go. Patrick Ling. Belgira from Memari Manesh. Placito from Ling. Ling making a run for it. Going down the left. No angle on this side though. Referee says it will be a goal kick dito para kay Mark Bedia.
Looking at that man on your screen, Jacques Ebene Mukata, every time he's had the opportunity to get that ball, he takes on his man without hesitation, and he's caused problems every time. Given the way he's performed here, it would be no surprise if he locks down a starting 11 spot and becomes a real regular for this team. And that's a big statement, given that the person that he replaced was Galeana Trujillo.
Kevin Ebene Mokata, now in his second stint with the team. So in between, he actually went to Manila Digger. He was also vital in that push where Digger came in second in the last edition of the PFL. Time continues to tick. Well, let's address this. Yes, pumasok si Coach Boogie Margarsi kanina. I call him coach because he'd also be playing coach in the previous seasons. He still has that role. I wouldn't be surprised. 49 years young.
Incredible. I mean, he can't play 90 minutes anymore, but to play 45 at the level he does is really a testament to his ability and the way that he's taken care of his body over the years.
Yes, his son who plays high school football for De La Salle Zobel. So we got to see him in the stands yesterday. That was for high school football, of course. Ebene Mokata's cross. Soriano will secure.
Great pass.
Celis gets it. Plays it wide. Margarse. Macmillan. He'll get it back to Bud. Patrick Ling. Oh, it's a handball against him.
Just popped up onto his arm. There's going to be a substitution out.
So Farias de Barros will enter. And it is holding midfielder. It's a Gaku who will step off. He will call it today after about 75 minutes of action here. 3-1 is the score again. It's a Finn McDaniel hat trick. And there's a banger from Jimuela Go Ariola. Oh, a yellow is given to Macmillan.
Completely unnecessary, Nico Macmillan. He's trying to delay the taking of the free kick. He's standing in front, trying to make a nuisance of himself. It's a game where you're 2 goals ahead.
And that will hurt in the long run because Macmillan is a shoe-in at fullback. And down the line, you'll see suspensions left and right here and there due to card accumulation.
Yeah, just a silly one from Macmillan.
Secured there by Bud. He'll trigger now. It only goes to Jalsor Soriano though. Placito. A bit surprising in that draw versus Maharlika. Placito was subbed off, but it's a foot race. Villaseñor contra McDaniel. But this one will end up as a corner. Confirmation once more of the yellow card dito kay Nico Macmillan.
It was just a touch too soft, that pass from Ebene Mokata, but it would have been a sensational pass through to Finn McDaniel. He's taking it on the outside of his foot. He is a tricky customer. Whether he's going outside or inside, he's been the provider of many good things now for Stallion.
This one is Lucen, who will secure. They unleash Celis. He'll take on Belgira. Nagmamadali dito sa kanan. He gets support. They get into the area. But there's a super stop from Macmillan.
How quick was that counterattack from Philippine Army? You can see it's being applauded by their captain. This is what you want to see from Philippine Army. Be sturdy, be difficult to break down, and when you get a chance, counterattack with pace.
And it will be Celis to whip it in. Also talk about the support earlier. Johnny Toledo unleashing himself. Army with a chance. Well, they pull one back. Ended up with Macmillan. Margarce could not collect. Bene Mokata will play it long. McDaniel. You also saw that Mark Bedia was a bit tentative. Bene Mokata gets it the other way. Finn shoots, doesn't score. It came off a defender. There's been a barrage of corner kicks dito sa itong laro.
Siguro yung pinaka-surprising dun sa dami ng corner kick na nakita natin mula sa Stallion is that they have not been able to really create an opportunity from one of these corners.
Essentially, the goals have been in open play. Secure dito kay Bedia. About 12 minutes remaining, along with stoppage time. Lamang ang Stallion 3-1. Corners at 13-2.
Incredible. And out of those 13, how many do you recall, Claro, where, you know, Mark Anthony Bedia was tested?
None, I will say. Just with my recent memory, of course. And you expect this, given the height of Stallion. Oh, yes, Army. Not one of the taller teams. Even if you're taller, if you try to play physical, some way, somehow, I think they will make you regret it. This one was stopped by Terrence Smith. Placito. 3 players to set up. Stepped in the brakes. Got to shake off Soriano. Celis. Now bringing out that box-to-box effort. Got to blow past his defender. Palacio. He's also creative on the wing. But oh, this has gotta hurt. Offside ang tawag dito.
That is a tough one. Just lack of awareness there from Nico Palacio.
As they say, sayang. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, tama ka nga, no, Claro. Sayang talaga dahil Stallion were a little bit slow in that transition. You can hear Ernie Nieras on the sideline calling out to Kuichi Belgira, not covering the opposite flank. And the number of purple shirts that were sprinting back, well, there weren't any outside from the back line that was already in place. So it was a real opportunity for Philippine Army to catch Stallion sleeping. And it comes to an end because of a silly move to go a little too early there.
An unforced error of sorts. Do you say slow o mabagal o mabilis lang talaga si John Celis? He's one of those superheroes where you're on fast forward and everyone's on normal pace. I forget the guy's name actually. Yung superhero na yun.
Is it the Flash? This guy?
There's this guy also in X-Men.
I'm not very well versed in my superheroes, but John Celis is certainly a man with plenty of pace. And that's part of the surprise why he's been utilized more this season in the middle of the pitch, where that pace has been underutilized.
Finn forced to save, no good on the rebound. Macmillan. Nico Macmillan did go through the Seattle Sounders Academy. Plenty of experience back home for the Filipino-American. Over to Ebene Mokata. Tried to go one-on-one here, but it was poked out by Mark De Guzman.
Finally, De Guzman gets one on Ebene Mokata.
Now it is McDaniel who will take the corner. Placito in a pocket. Stays as a throw-in. Amir Memari Manesh will take this. He had a previous stint with Minjola. Takes this one long. That was smooth. No effort to get it that far. I'm crediting the technique, of course.
He reached almost the middle of that box, almost causing a bit of trouble. Sapal doing well.
Celis. Ken Pride, his clearance just ricocheted or was deflected. Free kick. Palacio, the sense of urgency.
It's probably a good decision not to go quickly there. Not a lot of white shirts inside the opposition half yet.
And I had to pause my thought process also earlier during the Amir throw-in, because there was a player last season dun sa Minjola who take a long throw, tumatumbling pa. I believe that was Shabab Pira, because Amir Memari did not tumble, o di siya tumambling sa throw-in na yun. Patrick Ling couldn't get it to Amir.
Villasenor opting to go safety first there. Had a couple players that he could have passed to in the center of midfield. See the disappointment there from Boogie Margarce, and it's going to be an evasion of a yellow card from Jo Marie Sapal, who was very close, very close. You can see Meliton Pilaya thought about it.
The shoe of Placito got taken out. Shoe swap daw after the game? I do not think so. Sometimes you see the pulling of the jersey. Akala mo gusto nila mag-jersey swap pagkatapos ng laro.
I wonder what size he wears.
It has a letter I for incredible. Finn McDaniel range Jing, or is he gonna set up a teammate?
He's gonna go for it.
Clearly on target. I suppose power or placement, not ideal.
You'll never be happy if you concede 3 goals to a player, but I think Mark Anthony Badia won't be too disappointed with his battle with Finn McDaniel today. He's put in a lot of good stops against the best striker in the league right now on paper.
Finn McDaniel leads the way in terms of goal scoring. 15 heading into this game, bag 3, so he now has 18.
Partida, late pa siya nag-start. Wasn't part of the lineup to start the season, but he's been scoring goals for fun.
Come to a test late, you're still able to finish. Finn trying to evade the defense. Memari Manesh gets one in. Makes it 4-1. Yeah, there's the celebration. Nagtatampo daw siya, Jing.
Fantastic goal from Manesh. Blistering pace to get in behind. And when he had his chance, made no mistake there. 4-1 to Stallion Laguna, and you have to say that's done and dusted for them.
Game, set, match. Because of this effort, a cushion for Stallion. Amir Memari Manesh, the Iranian, getting a goal. Will you give points for the celebration?
You know, I wonder what that is all about. It could be a statement with turmoil that's happening back home. I'm not sure what that is about, but I'm not sure what to, if I was to give it a score, I wouldn't know what to put up, honestly. I'd give it a 7 or an 8.
Is it going to be a brace here for the Iranian? Well, at the end of the day, you don't get goals for your celebration.
You get points for uniqueness, I guess. It was a unique one.
Stallion unloading the bench. It's a 4-1 scoreline. 3 goals or a hat-trick for Finn McDaniel. Amir Memari Manesh getting 1. Finn missed this one from Ebene Mocato, though. That would have been quite an effort. He came from miles back.
You can see the desire. He set a target for himself. He's still 2 goals shy.
Who gets a hat trick and is not happy? Well, Finn McDaniel is the answer, it seems. Placito got to thread the needle. Finn dribbling through. Shoots but doesn't score. What a save. Also got to credit the defense dito sa Philippine Army.
Badia has done well. See, he's 2-footed, Finn McDaniel. Left-footed effort was good.
And Finn has built quite a gap when it comes to goal scoring. There's the likes of Mike Odd and Sekou Cisse with 11. Finn now at 18 when you include this game. And Beno Mokata. And Mari Manesh. They're not on the same page there from the looks of it. It's an impending W for Stallion.
They'll look at this game and think certainly some areas where they would have wanted to be more threatening going forward, perhaps more clinical in front of goal. But in the grand scheme of things, 3 points. They maintain that charge going forward, put pressure on Maharlika. It's all about moving up the table for Stallion Laguna. In 2026, there was a lot of question marks having reshaped their squad in such a big way, whether or not they're going to be able to mount a challenge, were they going to be the team that dropped out of the top 6 and possibly fall behind. Well, this has been their response. They've gone up against rivals, they've gone up against teams that they're expected to defeat, and they've been able to get the results. And so here they are again, Stallion Laguna, amongst the contenders.
Ben Mukata nagmamadali, 1-2. Miss-hit that one from the looks of it. Miller Akyapat will also check in here. And I'm seeing that Jomar Acedo is going to step off. He did enter the game as a sub and is going to be subbed off.
Jomar Acedo was replaced by player number 44, Miller Akyapat.
But with my updated standings, Stallion will move up to number 5. Speaking of the number 5, we have 5 minutes of additional time. So Stallion in 5th spot with 21 points. Maharlika number 6 with 19. Aguilas Yumac with 17. They will be playing later on, of course, so the standings will still move potentially. So this will put the pressure on Aguilas to get the win in our next game. And Chelsea Soriano just got this one. Kay Mark Anthony Bedia. Overhead pass there to distribute. And a yellow was shown against Ken Pride. That was the play earlier. Patrick Ling got to evade there. Jomaray Sapal almost poked it out. Sapal, formerly with Aguilas Yumac, did give them that game winner versus Maharlika. And that was before the transfer window. Ben Mokata knocks this one out and about.
So, Sapal, you mentioned, he's actually a very good addition to this Philippine Army side. Been rested today, given of course he is a Muslim and is in that period of Ramadan at the moment. But such was his conviction to play that he wasn't left out of the squad completely and still involved for 45 minutes.
Quite a challenge there, of course, for Jomaray Sapal.
And also testament to his commitment to his team. Gusto niya talagang ipakita. Gusto niya mag-contribute dito sa kanyang bagong kupunan.
Too close for comfort here. Chelsea Soriano got it back though to Bedia. McDaniel sent his apologies for the high boot, I presume. Patrick Ling, he did come off the bench again. So, what stuff o yung mahirap dito sa Army? they're going to be winless in 11 games. But we keep going back to this. They got to score at least one over the past 3 games.
They've kept the scoreline reasonably respectful. They were completely blown out by Cebu, and similarly so against Taguig, or rather Tuloy. It wasn't pretty. But this one against a team like Stallion Laguna that's in the top 6, to have a scoreline like this, certainly a lot of positives to take from it.
Celis. Margarce. Played to no avail mula kay Jomaray Sapal. And Benny Mokata shifted lanes here. Hits the turbo. Taking the defense 2-on-1. Leads to this one. He gets a 4th one. Throws the ball forward. I think they want to sneak in more here.
He needs one more, Finn McDaniel, to reach his target of 5 goals, but you got to credit half of that goal to Ebene Mokata. How is a man built like that so good with the ball at his feet? He was so tricky and delivered a perfect pass for Finn McDaniel to simply nod into the back of the net. Incredible work from the substitute. He's been electric since coming on.
Not a case of too much dribbling. He set up a goal, nonetheless, made the defense work. Finn McDaniel with number 4 in this afternoon. Makes it number 19 in this season overall. And there is a trooper shaking up for Philippine Army.
You have to love the hunger of Finn McDaniel.
Darwin Regala is the player shaken up. He is staying off the pitch. But Butt will clean up. But going back for Philippine Army, Ago Ariola did score a banger earlier. He made it 2-1 there. That was a lifeline for the Troopers to get back into the game. Well, it's been all Stallion since, but they had to work for it. Ebene Mokata surveys. Wanted to lay it off on a silver platter. Soriano got to collect. Boogie Margarce couldn't connect with the likes of Soriano and Palacio in the midfield. The flag was raised. Offside daw. Full-time whistle at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Stallion Laguna get to sneak in a goal at the death. 4 goals for Finn McDaniel. Amir Mimari Manesh added one of his own. That's the breakdown for Stallion. And one again courtesy of Jimuel Aguariola. He was subbed off earlier in the second half, unfortunately. He had trouble with his right leg. Confirmation of our scorers once more. But this doubleheader is far from over. We still have our next matchup between Don Bosco Garelli United and Aguilas UMAC up next. But here's a look at these statistics. 28 shots, Jing, and 21 on target. What, the 14 corners? We were talking about this earlier. The Stallion scoring an open play, but unable to take advantage in this department.
Normally when you've scored 5 goals, it's raining praises on you, but with 21 shots on target and that many corners, you'd expect Stallion to perhaps be a little bit more prolific. But at the end of the day, they'll be pleased to get 3 points back on the board. Finn McDaniel continuing his scoring run and getting 4 goals today. One thing that stood out for me was Ebene Mokata, fantastic. Jimuel Ariola providing the consolation today for Philippine Army. It was a battling performance for the Armed Forces side. They did well to stay in the game. That was 2-1 with that goal from Jimuel Ariola. And it wasn't until late on where they conceded those 2 late goals where it became a blowout. So all in all, both teams will be able to take a few things from this and build from it. Fantastic goals from Finn McDaniel in this game. And you must say, Stallion look like a force in 2026, and Philippine Army look like they're getting closer to their first point of the season.
The process continues, whether you're Stallion or Army. 5-1 is the result again right here, but we'll take it to the pitch with our man of the match interview.
Congrats on the win. What are your thoughts on the game?
Not good enough. The team played really bad today, in all honesty. We're way better than that. No rhythm, no flow, no identity today, so a win, but not good enough. It has to be better from us.
What went well and what went right during this game?
You know, at the end of the day, we kept working, we kept scoring, so there's always that, but again, we're much better than that. It's got to be more from Stallion.
What are your message to the fans?
Thank you for the support. Always love having the Stallion fans out here. Keep supporting the league, and thank you so much.